The morning begins pale and without edge. A weak light seeps through the shutters, touching frost that webs the inside of the window. He shoulders the door until it breaks loose, snow sliding across the floor in a soft spill. The air outside stings the throat. No wind, only a dry hush between trees. He clears a path to the woodpile, splits a few frozen logs until the clean heart shows. Each strike lands dull, the sound swallowed by cold. Inside, the stove stands open, iron dark and still. He builds the fire again. Shavings, bark, one careful match that catches slow. By the shed, the mare stamps once and waits. He breaks the ice in her bucket, feeds her, checks the shoes, brushes frost from her coat. When the stove finally breathes, he sits by it a moment, hands open to the small warmth, the day beginning quietly. The forest stays still beneath a flat sky. Birch and pine hold their weight in ice, each branch edged with white that never melts. The air is dense and clear, sharp enough to sting the eyes. It carries the faint smell of pitch, old smoke and frozen bark. The camp sits low between a frozen stream and a slope that won't see light until midday. The stream is sealed in gray ice, ridged where the water once moved. The slope stands dark and dry, catching sound and holding it. Smoke from the morning fire drifts a short distance, then sinks and disappears. A narrow path cuts from the door to the woodpile, rough where boots have packed it down. The tools wait beside the wall, axe, saw, rope, rifle, each with a thin line of frost along the handles. A glove left outside stiffens before it's found again. Metal clings to skin if handled bare. The cold doesn't strike anymore. It just stays. Every task moves slow, deliberate, with no promise of warmth. The forest gives nothing back, only stands there quiet and exact. Beyond the ridge where wind strips the snow thin, tracks cut through the crust, broad paths, edges frozen hard. They weave between saplings, disappear near the rocks, then reappear as if circling back. A bear's trail, heavy and fresh enough to chase. Back at the cabin, he checks the rifle, thumbs each round, and pockets a few more. The mare shifts, frost gathering along her legs. He leaves her tied and heads out again, breath already burning in his throat. The trail doubles, then scatters. He crouches, presses a glove to the print, ice solid beneath. The animals long gone or watching, hard to tell. The wind slides down from the ridge, thin and cutting. By midday, he's home again. The fire has failed, only smoke and black wood left. He splits damp logs until his hands ache, tries once more and watches the smoke rise steady, without heat. The tracks lead into thicker trees where the light dulls and every step sinks to the knees. Branches cross low overhead, holding old snow that drops in clumps when the air stirs. The rifle strap freezes solid against his coat. His breath comes short and white, disappearing before it reaches his shoulder. The ground dips and flattens again. The prints cross a fallen trunk, then fade where the snow deepens. He stops, listens. The forest answers with nothing. A faint crack follows, a clean, hollow sound like a branch under weight. It comes from behind, close enough to guess distance but not direction. He waits, hand on the rifle. The sound doesn't repeat, only the steady quiet returns, thick and even. He moves again, slower, scanning the trees instead of the trail. Bark smells sharp in the cold, sap frozen along the cuts. The air feels dry enough to burn the inside of the nose. By midday, the light fades, though the sun hasn't fallen yet. The sky turns white and distant above the branches. He sits on a stump, eats a piece of frozen bread, the crust hard enough to hurt a tooth. His hands shake when he unwraps it. Turning back, he finds his own trail hardened by wind. The edges of each print have filled with fine powder, as if a night has passed already. He follows them uphill, the rifle bolt stiffening when he checks it. At the edge of camp, no smoke rises. The stove is out. The mare lifts her head, ears fixed toward the dark trees behind the shed. She stands still, body tight, nostrils open. He stops beside her, listening. The forest holds its breath, quiet, cold, waiting. But it feels closer now. The silence crowding the edge of the yard. Dusk comes slow, the light thinning until the trees fade into one shade. The stove gives a short pull of smoke, then chokes. He adds bark, then splinters, but the smoke turns inward. When he cracks the door, the cold rushes in clean and hard. Outside, the snow has set like stone. The mare shifts once, rope tight across her chest. Then she stops, head high, ears locked toward the trees. Her breath clouds and disappears. He hears it next, a step through crusted snow, measured and close, another. Then stillness. He reaches for the rifle, works the bolt once, it sticks. He pulls again, slow, careful. The sound of metal on metal is sharp in the quiet. The mare stamps, rope creaking. Shapes move between the trees, low and steady. Gray hides against gray. They spread wide, patient. 5, maybe more. One lowers its head. Another slides sideways. He keeps the rifle raised but doesn't fire. The air between them hangs white with breath. Inside, the flint gives one spark that dies before touching kindling. Smoke thickens, bitter and cold. Outside, the wolves stay. They shift, pause, and settle again, waiting. The mare pulls hard now, neck slick with frozen sweat. Her hooves strike the ground once, twice. He steps back, the rifle ready, eyes on the dark line of trees. The cold deepens until even sound feels slow. The forest draws in close. The line of wolves barely visible, shadows inside shadows. Nothing moves. The fire gives no flame, only the faint smell of unburned wood. He stands by the door, hands stiff on the rifle, listening. The mare breathes hard, steady. Beyond that, nothing. The night holds still, and the cold keeps tightening its grip. Morning breaks slow, the light flat and gray. The forest hasn't changed. Frost seals the rope. The door hinges. The prints near the shed.
The wolves are gone.
No sound, no movement, only the still air holding what the night left behind. The mare stands stiff, her coat rimed white. Legs locked. He cuts the rope loose, checks her sides and leads her to water. She drinks once, then turns away. The ice forms again across the bucket. By the fire pit, snow has filled the dents. A few marks remain, boot edges. Paw traces half frozen the corner of a cracked pot. The rifle lies where it fell. Metal dulled from the cold. He wipes it clean, works the bolt once, and leans it by the door. Inside, the cabin smells faintly of smoke. He cleans the stove, lays shavings, and lights the match. The flame holds this time. Low and steady, he steps outside again. The air carries no sound but the mare's breathing. The ridge catches a thin line of sun that never warms. He adjusts the tools against the wall, his gloves stiff from frost. The forest stands still. Nothing coming, nothing gone, only the day beginning again, quiet and exact.